So it's time now, these tables, these three tables, the event table, the customer table, and the seat sale table, to save them in a database. So we start with access, a blank database. Yeah, yours may be slightly different, but it's always a blank database. Table, table 1, design view as always. So let's highlight them so that we are able to see the tables. We'll highlight that one as green. We go to design view, and we're doing first the event table. Be careful, TBL event. We say OK to that. It's event ID. Actually, it's putting a primary key for us here. We're happy with that, otherwise we can just do that. So let's just take it when added to the end. Then we have event description, event date, event ticket price. We close this. Let's add the primary key, which is this one, and we close it. We say yes, we want to save it. TBL event, naming conventions correct. We open it in design view. The naming conventions are correct as well. It is automatically added. This is for the time being as auto number. Let's deal with the data types later. So far so good. And now we will create the other three tables. So again, remember, create table design view. It's the customer ID, surname, and so on and so forth until we design all the tables. Now we've got our three tables down here. And that is all, just three tables. It all depends on how we normalize the tables. Yeah, we open customer, for instance, and we see we don't have a primary key. We add the primary key, we look for spaces, click as well in each of the fields like that to see maybe you've pressed the space bar here, yeah, or you've pasted the space. So it's better not to copy and paste. The best thing to add the field names and all, to do all the fielding, is not via copying and pasting but via typing. This looks absolutely correct, no spaces, and the table is called TBL customer. So I save that. I open the event table. It's got a primary key, no spaces, and it's called TBL in the beginning event, as well as sale. No primary key, we add the primary key. If we go back to design view and we look at the database here, if we find, for instance, the customer ID is a number, it's a primary key, so we can set that up as an auto number. The surname is obviously short text. Yours says short text or long text. Mine says text. In newer versions of Access, they've added long text. Never go for long text. Always short text. Something like this. Short, even though it doesn't exist. Yeah, short text, it says. But I'm typing it because it doesn't exist for me. It's just text. But yours will say short text. You click here and you select it from there. Or by default, it will say text. House number, if you can see here, there's a mixture of letters and numbers. So this is obviously not a number because you cannot do maths on 6A or Greylands. So the house number here is text, and even though it says number, and the postcode is a mixture of text and numbers and spaces, as you can see here. So that will be text as well. So that's done. The event table in design view. So we have event ID has already been entered as an auto number. Event description, let's take a look at event description. Is text as well, short text. Event date, this format here, this will be date time. Yeah, date time. Let's go and check the ticket price. Obviously it's currency, so we have to put currency. After a second look, everything is correct. We close it and we go for the sales in design view. Sale ID, auto number, event ID. Let's check it in here in design view. Event ID is an auto number, so we have to put event ID number because it's the foreign key from the event. And the customer ID, let's check that. The customer ID is auto number, so we have to put here number. Seat type is text. Table, no table, etc. Number of tickets is 212. That's a number, and we may implement maths on this, for instance, so it is definitely a number. So it might say summarize the number of tickets, so you say 2 plus 1 plus 4. You can implement maths on this. It's a number, no spaces. The table is TBL sale. Everything is correct. So far so good. The database is ready for database tools relationships. That is the so-called ERD. Yeah, the ERD, entity relationship diagram. If you see anywhere in the exam paper, it's referring to this. So double click on each one, and the foreign keys are obviously on the sale table. You see customer ID and event ID. Event ID goes there. Event with event matched, enforce referential integrity, create. So the tables are empty, remember, yeah? There's no data in the tables. You see the data view, they're all empty, there's no data. So this, in this activity 1, you do not fill in the tables. And we're adding customer ID on customer ID, primary key on top of foreign key, enforce, create, and we untangle them. And all we need now is a print screen. Remember to get used to the PRTSC button that takes a screenshot if you don't have the snipping tool. That now you will open a document, you will add it in there, and according to the exam it says save your database relationship screen print as a PDF in your folder for submission as activity 1. So activity 1 registration number, surname and first letter. So file, save as. I'm going to put it as activity 1 underscore your registration number 765438 or whatever they tell you during the exam. Ask what is your registration number to be sure. Your surname, Clark, and your first initial, W for William. And that's it. Word type PDF. Okay? And where I have the folder on the desktop, it's this one here. You can see here the college reference number, your own reference number, which I actually changed here. So let me put the same number, Clark W, and it's in the part A folder, and I save it as a PDF, which is down here. Save. Okay. Now I can save this as well. I can save it in the same manner, and it's as a Word document. In case we want to modify it later, we can put it in the same folder and we delete it later. Yeah. So it is on the desktop in that folder here. So that is the first activity done.